this video, I'm going to show you how to make this simple off-the-shoulder dress. And it's basically made from the same pattern. I adapted this pattern, made it shorter, and then adapted it to make the off-the-shoulder and add the collar. This one is closed in the back with the opening for the stand. It's made out of stretch fabric. And all you really need is a little piece of fabric. It doesn't take that much fabric. So it's great for leftover fabrics. So the first step is going to be to cut out the pattern and match the pieces. And the other piece that's not shown here is the collar, which is a 13 1/4 by 2 inch strip of fabric. And the main stretch goes this way across. If you're some stretch fabrics, they don't stretch the long way, but make sure that the stretch goes horizontal to the body, on the sleeve as well, and on the back. Okay, so I have cut out my pattern pieces and I used this fabric. It stretches this way, but this is the fabric that doesn't stretch lengthwise, it just stretches across. And I cut out my front piece. I folded the pattern pieces and cut it on the fold. The back, 2 of each. The sleeves, 2 of each. And the collar. Again, this is on the fold here, and then cut it around. I'm going to start by doing the back. And the first thing is to serge both backs. And if you have a fabric that doesn't fray, you can skip that step. I'm gonna serge it just to show, but this fabric doesn't really need to be serged because it doesn't fray at all. Now I serged the backs. We're gonna sew this seam all the way, but leaving the opening for the stand. So sew it up to where the stand opening is, then start and then finish it to the top. And when you're sewing it, make sure that you match these edges, the edges on the side, in case your edges are not even in the back, because even though I try not to take a lot from the serger, it always kind of gets crooked on me. So match this side and then sew here. I had marked the opening with a little mark here and left it open. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press my seams flat away from each other. And I'm going to top stitch along the sides here so that my seams can stay flat for the stand opening. And the next step after top stitching around your stand opening is to start attaching the sleeve while we're still working on the back. So make sure that you attach the back to the back. And after pinning the back sleeves to the back part of the bodice, I'm going to pin the fronts. Right sides together. And then finish off 4 seams. Sew them at 1/4 inch and then serge them. So this is coming along. The sleeves are attached. The next step is going to be to hem the sleeves. So I'm going to serge and then fold it up about 1/4 inch and seam it. Now that the sleeves are hemmed, I'm going to start working on the collar. And for the collar, just fold it right sides together and sew 1/4 inch seam allowance on the short end. You don't have to serge it because it's going to be covered. Now take the collar and open your seams and fold it. You can trim the seam if you want. Fold it in half, wrong sides together. And then I'm going to mark the center back as a seam. And I'm going to mark the center front. Now I'm going to take the center front, mark the center front. I'm just going to mark it with a little snip there. And then match your collar on the front. And you're going to face the wrong side of it. It seems counterintuitive, but you'll see what's going on. And match the center back. And then pin it all the way around. Okay, and then I'm just showing again that I pin the collar all the way around, and the collar is going to be sewn from the right side of the fabric, the front and the back, because it's going to fold over. So this is the way it should be sewn. I'm going to sew that all the way around. Now the collar is sewn and serged, and it'll be folded over like this to cover the seam. So now we're going to concentrate on sewing the sides. In your sides, and sew each side closed. The sides are done, and I'm going to hide my serger tails, or you can use seam sealant and cut them. But I like to do it this way. The next step is to finish the hem. First I'm going to serge it, and then I'm going to sew it like I did the sleeves. So now the dress is all finished. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take here in the back and stitch in the ditch right here to hold the collar down. Just, you don't have to sew it all the way up, just a little stitch right here. I'm gonna dress my doll. That arm always comes off, so that was easy. So the pattern is not really tight, so if you use a fabric like this one that doesn't stretch too much, it's gonna be okay. I always take the hands off too, because sometimes the fabrics rub against this plastic and it stains them.